Car salespeople are negotiating deals every single day. And if they're not negotiating a car sale, they're learning to negotiate a car sale, going through different scenarios. Whereas as a buyer, you do it very rarely. Therefore, to level the playing field, watch this video and do your research before going to a car dealership. Hi, my name is Nira and I'm a financial analyst. I talk about personal finance and investments and teach you how to make money and grow it exponentially. If you're interested in this topic, consider subscribing, as this will help the channel grow and impact more people. Today, I will teach you how to negotiate buying a car, and I will share with you my personal experience buying a new car and how I saved $6,200. We will go over what to do before going to the dealership and what to do at the dealership. I will conclude with my own experience and share with you some tips I used to bring down the price and my mistakes along the way. I grew up in a culture where negotiating is something that is done on a regular basis, whereas in the States, it is not that common. So it comes naturally to me to look for a better price, especially with a big purchase like a car. Seeing my parents negotiate, I learned a lot of tips and tricks to use when negotiating on my own. For example, my mom used a tactic where if she didn't agree on a price with the seller, she would act as if she was no longer interested until the seller agreed to her price. It worked vast majority of the time, and for the times that it didn't work, she was okay not to buy into a bad deal. So the first and most important rule that I learned is always be willing to walk away from a deal that doesn't benefit you. To start, let me mention that this is the worst time you can buy a car. Summertime is usually a good season for car dealerships with higher demand, so they have more negotiating power. Add to that current supply chain issues and inventory shortages, it feels impossible to get a good deal. Dealerships are also adding significant markups or including features as mandatory additions to the new car. So I wouldn't recommend purchasing a car right now. However, if you absolutely need to buy a car like I did, here are some tips you can use to negotiate a better deal for yourself. Before getting to the tips, let's see the income sources of car dealerships. Here are the 3 ways dealership makes money. Number 1, selling the car. Dealerships have the freedom to price the car and add a price markup as they please. In addition, they receive discounts from the manufacturer and pocket the difference. Number 2, services that they offer in-house at overpriced rates. Dealerships offer insurance, extended warranties, interior protection, nitrogen for your tires, and more. These prices are often way more than the market price. For example, pinstripes for decoration are charged hundreds of dollars, which cost only $10 on Amazon, and you can install them yourself. Number 3, financing at inflated rates. Dealerships have their own financing office that are ready to offer you higher rates, blaming the current market. Don't fall for that. What to do before you visit the dealership? Number 1, do your research on the price before visiting the dealership. With everything online, you can search and compare the prices for different models. Number 2, once you get an idea of the price range, get your financing options ready in advance without leaving your house. With a soft credit check, local banks and credit unions, as well as online lenders, can provide you with an estimate interest rate on your purchase. Once at the dealership, you wouldn't have to negotiate the financing. The dealership may be able to beat the offer. If the interest rate is too high, consider working on your credit score before making a purchase. You will save thousands with a good credit score over the course of the loan. Number 3, if you have a car to trade in, check its value first. There are websites like Kelley Blue Book that will suggest the trade-in value of your car as well as private sale value. So you can decide for yourself how you want to sell and have a number in mind. Private sales generally value the car higher, so consider selling yourself as you'll receive much more compared to trading in. It will require some more time and effort, but with the additional profit, it will be totally worth it. Used cars are in a high demand right now, so it is not as difficult to sell one. I sold my used car the same day I posted it on Craigslist for a good price. Number 4, contact the dealerships online or via email to find out if the car you want is available and get the approximate price including all fees and taxes. They will often ask you to come to the dealerships in person to talk about prices. Politely ask them to give you an estimate so that you decide if the trip will be worth it. Different dealerships have slightly different prices. This provides you with competitive rates between dealerships, and you would want to make sure you have an alternative if it doesn't work out at one dealership. What to do at the dealership. Number 1, once you found a car you like, always negotiate on things the dealer has control of. Registration fees and taxes are non-negotiable, as these are charged by the government and not the dealership. In addition, the manufacturer's price that is listed on the vehicle's Monroney sticker is also non-negotiable. That price usually includes the MSRP and the delivery and handling fee that the factory charges. However, look out for additional freight charge, as this is something you don't have to pay for unless you request that the car be delivered to your home. Number 2, don't tell them that you need a car. I usually say I'm looking for one and will buy if I find a good deal. Just casually. Once they know you need one, you lose your negotiation power, and it will be much more difficult, close to impossible, to get the deal you want. Number 3, focus on the out-the-door price, not the monthly charge. Salespeople will try to bring your focus to the monthly charges and ask if that fits your monthly budget. Don't reveal your budget expectations before you see their financing options. Don't even try to negotiate the monthly charge. They will show you different ways you could do so without affecting the final price of the car, including varying the interest rate and term length, which is not in your favor. Number 4, don't sign any paperwork until you have come to an agreement. Dealerships would often pressure you into signing the offer paper to reserve the car while you're negotiating. However, you should know better not to sign anything until you are okay with the price. Consider this a red flag and look for another dealership if they pressure you to sign something. Number 5, always be ready to walk away. This is your biggest superpower as a buyer in everything, even you sign that offer paper. Don't be afraid to disappoint the salesperson for losing a sale. Always remember that this is a business transaction, and in the long term, the only person you don't want to disappoint is yourself. You don't want to look at that car a week later and feel buyer's remorse for paying more than you should have. A trick I usually use is imagining that I'm driving it and what I feel at that time. Prepare yourself to combat the pressure the sellers are trying to put on you, but don't let frustration get the best of you. Keep it professional as in any other business transaction, and leave the offer on the table if it doesn't feel fair to you. It's time to share with you my story. I was shopping around few local dealerships and spent hours to try to negotiate down the price. Given the current market conditions and high demand of the new hybrid car I wanted, none of them were willing to negotiate the price at all. In addition to the expensive add-ons, they offered high interest rates on financing. So my only option was to save on financing or change my car option. I had financing option available from a local credit union that saved me $4,000. However, I ran into an unexpected issue. The dealership refused to accept the check from the credit union, which I didn't realize they would be picky about where the money came from. Apparently, they had a list of approved banks they would accept checks from, with whom they partner and receive compensation from every client. The banks that they were partnering with, of course, offered high interest rate as well. Since I was shopping around, I knew another dealership had the same car for a similar price, but it will be available in 2 weeks. I called that dealership and negotiated with them to decrease the price on the add-ons, totaling $1,000. The argument I used is that there is already another car available today for me to buy. However, for theirs, I will have to wait another 2 weeks, which I'll be okay with if they gave me discounts. The dealership was willing to give me the discounts I wanted to close the deal and accepted the check from the credit union. Total savings, $5,000. I thought I got a good deal and was looking forward to my new car. Fast forward 2 weeks later, I received a message from my salesperson that the car has arrived. I went to the dealership to sign off on the car and pick it up. While going through the contract, I noticed that 2 add-on services were listed as optional. However, the dealership was stating otherwise, and I had no choice but to buy them if I wanted the car. I brought this up with the manager, saying that I refused to sign until they removed those add-ons. They would insist that they require those add-ons due to the market. But you should know that it is a legal document, and whatever is written in that document is binding not just you, but them as well. By demanding they honor their end of the contract, I was able to remove those add-ons and save another $1,200. Make sure you understand all parts of the contract before you sign it. Don't be afraid to ask help of a person you trust if you're not sure about the wording, and bring them to the dealership if needed. Always read the fine print and make sure the dealership honors it. Here are some mistakes and takeaways that I think are worth mentioning. I was fixated on a hybrid car that is in low supply and high demand currently. I had no negotiating power in this case. Moreover, I chose the worst timing for a car purchase for the reasons I mentioned earlier. Even though there was incredible resistance from the dealerships to give any discounts given the current market conditions and shortages, I was able to find ways to get the best deal that I could. So by following the steps that I have mentioned, I'm sure you will be too. And remember to stay strong, be willing to walk away, be well informed and persistent when it comes to a big purchase like a car. If you like this video, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you turn on notifications to never miss out. Comment down below about your experience. I would love to hear from you. This has been Money with Nira, and I'll see you next time. As always, thanks for watching.